good job showing us what exactly the teams are working with in front of them. Now, it does get a little flat the closer you get to the power grid, and that makes things a little wonky, so there's not a ton of terrain. There's enough early on. But, you know, if circles ever come here, it gets really wild because it's so flat, especially to, like, the eastern part of the power grid.
And MCG, they had 2 members here, but with Detonation Gaming White bumping in, they are forced down, and Genji let this happen even in previous week, making sure that another team's getting some information. If they're fighting, then they can also come up to the hill and take the spot away when they're a few knocks away. And Genji's going to just chill on that eastern side. Here the Ghibli all the way out in the higher ground, actually getting a taste of this.
Yep, this is pretty typical for Ghibli. They love these mountains just to the southeast or south of San Martin, and you can see there Hikari was trying to see if he could pop a tire on some of those MCG vehicles, make it a little more difficult for them to rotate as things go along. Genji found the double gods over here and all the compounds along that particular edge of the mountainside, and they're going to hang out there for now. Leo comes down on top of infantry there, gets some decent damage, doesn't get a knock with that SKS.
Yeah.
MCG back out. I mean, they're not in the best of position to support their fallen teammate, but a lot of times you'll see Chinese teams, if they have a member knocked early on, it's just instantly turn on a dime, everything, try to help your teammate.
Well, I thought MCG actually combined forces. Didn't they just leave? From
they must have just left.
I
thought
think
so too.
They wanted to leave and just bumped into the lower part of the building there, and then wanted to stay until DGW actually ran in. That's a big loss early game.
Exactly, huge. I mean, for one of our top 3 teams, you don't want to lose a player this early on in the first game of the day, but still plenty of games to play, still plenty of time to recover. Now, you do have Crazy Sam, who has found his way a little bit close to Pero territory, I'd say, as they moved all the way across the Pozo Road here. And now it's MCG that's also in Sun Sister's face. So Sun Sister, if they're not careful, if this fight really breaks out, they might just get ripped apart between 2 different teams.
Yeah, GEX is right next to them, as Pero staying top, as that was shots fired for that open fire now, XCD. Yeah, almost getting Crazy Sam there. Oh yes, they're right in the middle. You are 100% correct, Paper Thin, as they did not know. They knew MCG, but did not know much about GEX or Pero right on top.
Yeah, the information, you know, Crazy Sam tried it. That's why he's going up that mountain, is he's trying to get up there to make sure that that is a clear ridge, that they're able to play this position for now, and maybe he might even set up there as an anchor or something like that, depending on the ideas. They're a little late, and I think Pero probably made a little bit earlier rotation than Sun Sister is expecting, and now they might lose another member out in the open. XDD does get the knock on a Faye. Polly was going for the pickup, but it is not going to be in time.
Kill steal is incoming. Seems like an okay spot, but they actually might lose both.
He got there. I'm so wrong. He just barely got there. Is he going to get this res, though, is the real question. I mean, I think CC, it looks like CC should have a good enough angle. He does. It's going to be long screws, actually going to help the Sun Sisters out. Does some damage, and my, oh my, they got Faye back up. I thought that was not going to happen.
Yeah, it might not be able to get out. It depends on the timing and the focus fire. Okay, Pero started shooting onto MCG, so I think that's good, just good enough time for them to.
And I tell you what, if they come out of this with 3 alive and they get something in the next circle, that's going to be a win. Because this is not an easy situation they face with a couple other teams already up there by the power grid area.
And where Sun Sister just pulled off right now to get that heal of, it's out of the second circle already, and it's going to be a very tough road for them to actually rotate, because that western area is packed and not much of a road that I can think of right now.
All right, infantry is heading just north of. It's going to be right underneath Gen G, and there's going to be an instant knock from 9 onto Pio. Pio, you got to know those car sounds are out there. He's staying
right now. Gen G, they had one of the best position right now in the circle on the high ground. Infantry just coming, somewhat getting lucky with that rotation and the catch. They've heard the window sound, and Loki, 1 HP.
Oh, he does get the volley off. It does land on the Loki. So that's going to force the heals out from Loki. That might buy enough time for 9 to get heals of his own. Aqua 5 comes up, gets Zhao Ying knocked. So right now, they're trying to finish this one off, get the flush. It does come through for Aqua 5. A good grenade from Aqua 5 finds Lin. The support player for Gen G stepping up right now is now 9 and Longsker try to come in and see if they can turn this fight around.
Yeah, they gotta look at the opponent and also Tiamba from the other side at the same time. So they have one angle covered, but Gen G certainly winning the duel even after losing PO early on.
So they know Anonyx is over here. They don't know exactly where he is. Anonyx with a smart little play here, staying underneath this truck for now. And he heard that grenade from Longsker.
That's a pretty good spot if Gen G stayed alive. Tiamba, 2-2 split, that's beautiful right there.
Yeah, it's really, really nice for them. It's going to force 4 AM over to the graveyard here as well. OPGG having similar thoughts, so we might have 2 teams bumping heads inside of the graveyard. Afrika's going to stay on the edge and try to barricade K7 in while all this is going on. But yeah, Tiamba controls a lot of ground. I'm a little worried about Tiamba if somebody tries to crash one of those 2 compounds, and you can see OPGG kind of gets bullied around in the graveyard because of 4 AM's early rotation.
I don't think OPGG has a full understanding that there's 2-2 split from Tiamba. Checking in from the right in the middle. Yeah, shots coming in from the right, so I think they will rotate exactly towards the other 2 member, or just staying here in the dip. I don't think they will stay here too long. Just buying some time for the next phase.
If OPGG can figure this out in their heads, that they've got Tiamba split, they might try to go for something. Because I know they're not afraid to push compounds if they think they have the advantage. I've seen them do it before, and they're very, very good at it. And then once they gain a central circle compound, they're one of the best in the business at holding it down. So I do definitely kind of have my eyes on the map on OPGG a lot just to see if they make their movements. Now, Savior, excuse me, I almost said Summer. Savior here for K7 has found the front side of Afrika and is trying to relay the information to his team how they want to approach that.
This is exactly where I wanted to walk. Picado, Destiny Gaming White, GEX, and even Entis sort of peeked in here, and then they decided to rotate towards the sort of a mini crane right on the east side.
Oh! Wow, yeah! Oh my god! He almost got a 3-fer there. C's barely saves the day for Detonation Gaming White. Machao gets Yan Li as well on the side. Machao gonna quickly pick that one up. Now CC's right around the corner. Machao sees him. Machao's gonna cook this grenade. CC's like, saw the grenade in his hand. It's like, no way, bro. I ain't gonna try to stick around for that.
making that big rotation now, knowing that nades can come anytime. Still, the fight is on from the other side, but look who goes down. Machao takes CC down.
Machao is nuts. This guy is arguably the best player in Japan. Him and Crazy Sam, definitely number 1 and 2 for sure. Just shooting poor CC in the butt there. And now over to Tianba as OPGG has found their moment to try to strike down onto Tianba. They've got one out. So now it's just M200 left all alone.
Lynch actually came out. He tried to bite on OPGG, knowing after the split, because they heard all the vehicle, they sort of have a pretty good idea when they have the split right in the middle. But Linshu did get quite aggressive. That's the type of play that he did make a lot of times, even in the previous week on Miramar. But not today. Tiamba's going to lose big with that member.
Yeah, I think that one's... They had the opportunity to have 4 up in a center circle location.
Yeah, now, bit of a favor for OPGG as F200 is going to respond against 4AM in Africa. Still not too bad, as they still do have the pretty good compound with quite open angle from those compounds.
We are going to see Lycanon taken down here for New Happy as we make their way towards Peril. Oh, there's a Croza here. Oh no, XDD has a Croza, but no, it's going to be XKK. Zhao K going to get the knock there, but Mamu's going to follow that up with a knock of his own. Now it's just Mamu alive for Peril. Stand alone, but at what cost?
But a big cost is 4AM's the one that's actually smiling after the fight. Yeah, because this the next phase is actually forcing a lot of teams up the hill. With not many compounds. It's going to force a lot of these teams. Roa gets one from the side. Where's the driver?
Well, it's actually K7. Who needs a driver when you got support fire from the side? Booyah, who gets the knock onto Faye there as well. So Sun Sister tries to kind of send one in and put 2 back for support, but K7's here as well, so there's too many teams available for them to deal with. And right now, Afrika and K7 are in a bit of a state.
They barely made a rotation in this game.
Grenade coming out, and it's going to be EJ with that AK getting some good damage onto Booyah, who's going to follow it up with another one. It's going to be 2 hard from Griffin. That's actually getting the knock here, and the finish as well. So third party after third party on these compounds to the south of the graveyard.
Yeah, from the northern side, 4AM, from south, Griffin. I mean, they're just stuck right in the middle. Even K7 should be thinking about escaping the compounds already. After taking care of Afrika Freaks, that's exactly the same for Freaks. K7 is trying to win that duel. They do have some time. 8 kills already.
It's huge. That's massive. It's actually insane. Oh, and K7's going to go down to Afrika while all of this is happening. So that is going to be K7 out in 12th place in Afrika, looking to see if they can find some way to climb back into that top 10, maybe even get top 8, top half. Find out if that's available. 4AM in the meantime wants to assert themselves as maybe one of these top 3 teams, already looking strong forever, pouring some shots down into that member of Ghibli who's got the Gilly, but it's Lambu up front.
Yeah, got the Gilly and part, as a lot of teams are still clashing right near Tiamba.
All right, grenade up front into Lambu. He deftly dodges that just a bit, takes some damage, and then he's going to prone back down, get his heals off, wait for the reinforcements. You do have Spear going for a flanking position up to the west of 4AM. Looking to see if he can keep Godvi pinned down from the top of this church here, and that is going to be a knock from 9. It's going to be 9 from forever away. That's a good 500 meters. Or so, and he's gonna get that knock. That is crazy.
9 is popping off today with those shots, taking Genji down first and then getting those long shots at SLR. Certainly one of the guns I'm having questions why it's not being nerfed for such a long time, but everything else is being changed. I didn't say anything.
Bro, okay. Can't hear you over the SLR. Get out of here.
I said it, guys.
It does have a bit of an awkward situation where they do have to push up into the next circle, and Ghibli's trying to set up some kind of situation where they can maybe trap them a bit. There's still Mamu from Pero and then Tianba as well.
It's incredibly hard for VLG to even keep the ground because 4AM will be pushing. They already know with Lambo's position. That's the exact reason they sent Lambo, to keep 4AM sort of out of the circle, and they know that Tianba's right on top. Maybe not exactly where Mamu is. So
maybe
that's going to be the very hard ground to actually keep control.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Maybe 4AM, I don't know what their vehicle situation's like. They the movements of 4AM and trying to just mirror them and keep them boxed in.
Yeah, VLG is trying to force 4AM into the eastern side so they face Africa Freaks. So they can only think about infantry, who's actually moving up right now into an open spot. And 9 makes a pretty easy rotation in. That's not bad with the cover of long scar from the side.
Yeah, my worry here for VLG is that once a fight pops off, if they get involved,
great.
then Tianba's gonna reach out and try to, you know, squeeze down on top of them. We'll see if that happens. 4AM now is making their way into with the SLR. He is actually on fire this first round.
At least 350 out.
Dude, this guy ate his Wheaties, man. He is ready to rock and roll.
And GEX is running towards Entis saying, oh, that's a kill that I want. I'm the only one left. Entis, that was a pretty good timing because they were making that rotation. Okay, Kale did find the last remaining member, Leo. Down he goes, but that knock from 9 right there from infantry actually forced a very much later rotation for Entis.
Yeah, and now Entis is kind of readjusting their sights. They're looking more towards infantry than they are towards much they need to worry about this with a bit of a 2-2 split back over towards the east. And again, still Tianba inside of this, OPGG as well with 3 up each.
This has to be done for 4AM. They have to make the push towards the eastern side and then go up that hill to get that control for that chicken dinner. They know they have to go up against the Africa Freaks, but with only few men, Crazy's got to look on their backs, so not a full squad power for 4AM. All right, so there's a chance for Africa Freaks.
We've seen it before. The throwables have been really good for the res. Oh my gosh, that vehicle, a little bit lucky there for Africa. It doesn't land on top of them, and they still have enough cover from this rock, I think, to go for this.
4,000 IQ. If Ghibli wins the fight from our... And 4AM's breaking apart because they had to. They were forced with this 2-2 split against Africa Freaks and VLG. Forced by VLG from 3-4 minutes ago with that big setup with the vehicles. And with just 2 remaining members, they can barely make it in now. With Freaks actually winning that duel was big.
Yeah, this is VLG being sheepdogs, herding 4AM into the positions they want. He's gonna get the headshot and the knock. Now over to another member of Entis. Indigo turns on him. He's gonna find Takey and finish him. Entis now just has to finish off Lingdu and the job will be done. It's gonna be Entis starting strong here towards the end of the first game of the day.
Still with a full squad against MCG. That was pretty quick too. So no other team can actually challenge them, as there is no other team making that rotation from that southern side of the next circle. Now even the fights are going on near Tianba. But of course, better ground, better control by Tianba.
Still only 8 kills for Forever. Another good grenade finds EJ. Now he's looking to cook 8. Another. This guy is a throwables master. Still 4 mollies in there as well. That grenade bounces a bit too far to get any damage onto Africa, but he's going to get the finish onto EJ. Roa's going to step up though. Close the door. 4AM is done.
And meanwhile, Kale actually steals that kill point onto Xiaolu. All the way onto the other side of the circle. Amazing play. Entis got really high ground control, and also OPGG. They have some chances. Griffin there, they have a pretty good position with Asura and Too Hard, but they're 2-man team.
Shoots him as he's thinking about going for a stun, and it's going to be under from Forever away. Under gets the long-range finish onto Mamu. Mamu just a little bit picked the wrong time there to try to go for that stun.
Oh, still amazed that he was still alive right next to Tianba when there were that many teams, that many fights going on. Even infantry almost got a kill on him. Yep, now Kale, the entire squad of Entis as the next circle does shift towards Entis 100%.
I mean, how crazy is this match? Over, gets Dumbo. It's just Silky left for OPGG, all on his lonesome inside of this shack. And Africa pretty much makes a successful push into the largest force, the main force of OPGG.
As Griffin wanted to get some taste and get some kill points away, as it's going to be actually Entis pushing out Griffin. Griffin were looking to pick up a few more kill points before they went out, but not against Entis when you're only a few hundred meters out.
Yeah, look at what Entis can see. Literally everything in this circle. This is the Lion King position for them.
VLG.
They can see everything. VLG's getting 2 over onto Tianba. Only M200 left. They are storming into this compound, looking to finish the job. They know he's in here. Spear sees him. Spear's gonna come in and get knocked. Can Lambu finish the job? No! Sungjong is gonna get him, and now M200 is the only one alive, but Entis
Easy job for them as Silky right in the middle. Denche still out in the blue, trying to heal up and looking for that second place finish. Entis has everything packed and ready to go.
In force is OGN, just storming through MCG, taking the high ground, and then wiping clean the rest of this slate as they look to just finish Silky off. The throwables are in. Silky doesn't have much to work with inside of the shack. The grenade from Indigo, gonna land right on the top of him. I think Dangjay's just gonna eat the blue here and just cede the round to Entis. He's trying to heal it out, but there's not much left for him to play for. The shots ring out. Entis comes back and takes the first game with a 12-kill chicken dinner.
What a match for them. Entis coming up clutch. That's a lot of kill points. Plus, Tianba did stay for a pretty long time, so I think we have to look into the total points. But what a dominant starting from OG and Entis. Might be able to boost them up in the first place.
And yeah, I think that should be just enough to catch up and surpass Tianba for the team from Korea. The favorites, the winners of PCS3 Korea coming through, seeing what they can do. 4 kills for Kale, 4 kills for Indigo, 3 for Under, and 1 for Sungjong. The team effort once again strong for OGN.
The moment when 9 got a knock, getting some information as they also moved out towards the south part of the next phase, but gave that time for Entis, which actually ended up becoming 4-0 when that 4v4 just happened against Entis. Was the biggest moment, I would say, in the Miramar game.
Yeah, it's hard for MCG when you're in a position where you have the circle advantage and you know the other team has to come through you to like make the call to step up, especially in a big game, a big stage like this. And also, you do have to a little bit worry about other teams, maybe third-partying that fight. So, of course it's hard, but yeah, I think they had an opportunity there if they chose to go for it. You know, Pero here doing a good job against New Happy with some help from their friends. And then Sun Sister tries to send it into the madness that was Afrika and K7, and just nothing for them to work with there.
Yeah, it was not the toughest circle, not too far away from the center, but in terms of using vehicle and the rotation, it was very hard. This was a fight that we missed at the beginning.
That grenade from Under is so key, so crucial. All the space opens up once that grenade lands on top of Summer. All that high ground is gone. That flanking position gone for MCG. They're left with just 2 on the side of a ridge to work with.
And that was a smart dive by the Freaker Freaks, knowing that OPGG still had somewhat of a split, that we can just outman and get that split win with the help of the other team too.
I mean, this was so well done by Entis. Of course, the Freaks having a really nice round for themselves. Of course, with that second place finish, they hold off a couple different pushes onto them from K7, Sun Sisters, 4AM, and they fend those off well. 9 kills puts 4AM, despite a middle exit, I'd say a medium exit, but that 8 kills turned into 9 and 10 points.
Yep, Ghibli, with 3 men, they forced the rotation, even using vehicle off to the side nor the edge. Gave no room for 4AM to actually rotate. You say, okay, there's no chance you push against us because we got infantry on our back too. And look at that updated leaderboard. OG and Entis on top. Yamba right behind it with 3 points off. And a 20-point gap now between second and third.
Yeah, these top 2 teams are playing so well, and Multi-Circle Gaming did their best. But this time it was Entis that was just too strong. Entis gets their 3rd chicken dinner of the event. You can see there, top 3 teams with 90+ kills, and that's why they are where they are. You can see that's basically the point difference between MCG and Ghibli.
Yeah, what a big lead that we have.
All right, let's take a break, guys. We will be back with PCS3 Asia. Stay tuned for game number 2.
Hi, this is Annie of Weekly PCS. Did you enjoy watching the events in last week's PCS3? Now that we only have 1 week left, here are last week's highlights to get you caught up for the final week of PCS3. In Asia, Tiamba Esports finished week 2 and first on the leaderboard. Their play reminded me of their performance at Charity Showdown earlier this year. Tiamba was fighting back and forth with OG and Entus from Korea for the top spot. At the end of day 4, Tiamba was Asia's first place team in the second week of PCS3. OG and Entus is still showing stable performance. However, if they lean into their explosive performance more, they definitely could be a team with a good chance of winning. Asia is highly contested and showing the fiercest competition among the 4 regions. The top 8 teams all scored over 100 points. Genji, the champion of PGC 2019, is still in 9th place, but fans saw a shining moment in Day 4 Match 1 when they scored a perfect chicken dinner, a throwback to the good old days. We're Alio Ghibli and 4AM are still bumping into each other sometimes, but both remain in the top 5, showing potential to win this event. Competition is more intense than ever in Asia. Which team will be crowned the PCS3 Asia champion? Let's see what happened in North America in week 2. Guadalajara Gaskins showed remarkable performance, earning 106 points in the second week. They quickly moved up to second place. In the last match of day 4, Gaskins got 18 kill points and the chicken dinner, widening the gap with Oath, who sits in 3rd place. This team might sound new, but Nikus and Honey Badger have each played in the OC and NA regions, while Bosick is a veteran player who has participated in PGI 2018. Sonics, of course, is flaunting their consistency. They almost matched the same amount of points as their week 1 performance, proving them to be a steady team. The trust from PUBG Esports fans shows since Sonics currently has the most votes so far among all 4 regions in Perekam Challenge. There's only a 20. Also, can Shoot to Kill and Oath show us their last burst of energy? Make sure to check out the final week. In APAC, Vietnam's top dog LG Divine held their lead for the second week. However, they weren't as explosive as they were in the first week. LG Divine won 5 chicken dinners in week 1, but were eliminated in the early stages a lot during the second week. Buriram United Esports and Fury are chasing right behind Divine. I think I saw this happen in PCS2. Buriram United Esports is a team that has always been in top 3 throughout PCS events. In the second week, they've been overperforming and have the momentum of winning 2 consecutive chicken dinners for the last 2 matches. Will they finally seek a chance to take the throne? Fury lost the first place in PCS2 APAC due to an official tie ruling. They're not the team who always shows explosive performance in matches, but rather play smart, stacking up points to maintain high ranks. If they can win more matches though, they will be more likely to win the championship. Let's not forget Division X Gaming, who clutched many great in APAC. How was the second week in Europe? Europe, as expected, is a very intense region. Digital Athletics, Tornado Energy, and Northern Lights are still in the top 3 teams in week 2, even though their rankings have shifted slightly. Team Liquid has put in the effort to rise the ranks and compete for the lead in second week. Digital Athletics is showing amazing performance so far. It's a team that breezed through the open qualifier and they have a great potential. They enjoy sending themselves on tricky situations, but they also stack up points steadily and have finally topped the list. Tornado Energy, who finished first in week 1, was briefly knocked to 4th place during day 4, but rebounded after a 16-kill chicken dinner victory in match 3. Northern Lights have been showing really stable performance for the entire 2 weeks. Even though they slipped a bit on day 4, the gap between first place is only 10 points, not a lot. Who will be the winner of the last PCS of 2020 in Europe? We won't know until the last day is here. PCS3 has only 1 week left, and this is how the Perekam Challenge looks so far. Are they teams that you've picked? The last week of PCS3 starts on November 19th. Check out which teams will become champions in 4 regions. I'll be back with the next weekly PCS. Bye!
둘 나왔어 둘 왼쪽 언더 왼쪽
네, 왼쪽 확인.
똥가
헤어져야 하나, 헤어져야
야
하나.
우측 더 갈게 야 우측 천천히 우측 더
발
갈게
앞에 발 앞에.
발 앞에 개피. 필. 발 앞에
나쁘게
골필.
나쁘게.
아 라스트
헤어져.
바로 터치하면 살릴 수 있다 이거.
연막 아니야
바로
연막.
살려야 돼 이거.
아 바로 터치해봐.
끝끝끝
나이스
오케이.
나이스.
바로
일본 야 이거 한 팀 더 있어 일본에.
우측 끝 조심하자 우측 끝
일본에 있다고.
아,
돈이 좀 쓸 수 있대. 돈이 좀 쓸 수 있대.
내려는
한자 좀 째줘.
내려놓을게.
한자 좀 째줘.
연막 다 버리고 가. 연막.
아니야 천천히 하면 돼. 판자 쪽이랑 1번이랑 다른.
한대 판자 사운드 야 팀한이랑 기블리 싸운다 판자
프리카.
자, 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 자.
야 빠댕이
야 오케이 아 이거 밖에 라스트 경박.
한번 뛰죠 나이스
Welcome back, everybody, to the PUBG Continental Series 3 Asia. The first game of the day has completed, and we move on to our final game of Miramar for the day. I'm making up a new map here. It's half Erangel, half Miramar. So, there are your top 5 damage leaders. That 9 is not the damage he did, that is his name for infantry there, 858.
Yeah, half of that damage comes out from Jet G, and of course, and stealing a few other kills from the side of the road. Infantry went into, thought that it was going to be hard to rotate unless they take the spot, went into a pretty good fight, a lot of damage put in. Certainly, XTD, we saw Para, what they were able to do, was about to win some duel, but with some help from the other side, I think they could not really deliver against Tiamba.
Yeah, it just seems like match after match after match, we're seeing Indigo in these top 5 damage dealers. I mean, I went through and looked through, and he's up there almost every day for every match. This guy is just crazy good right now. Again, the top damage dealer, and he's going to actually add to his average damage numbers with that almost over 500 damage round. He was averaging 400 damage per round coming into today, and now he's gonna go up. I mean, this guy is performing on another level right now.
Yeah, among the, I think from the stats, among the top 10 damage dealing players with the highest accuracy. That's the reason why he's been having such a good race. And accuracy, of course, includes all the shots that you take against vehicles, so it's actually pretty low. In average, even for pros, around like 10.5 to 11%. But Indigo was up near 13%.
Wow.
So that's pretty high. Overall for MCG, they were below average, well, near 9% because they run into so many fights and lots of leading shots against the vehicles. But you could tell Indigo is just popping off every single time. And even under in the previous game, KO, Songjang, the entire squad, it's like they have 3 eyes each. They all have 3 eyes. They can look into 360. They are always stealing kills.
Yeah. They're crazy.
also the thing.
They're crazy good right now. Yeah, they're stealing kills. Their mechanical abilities are really good. We saw Indigo turn on a tanky just on a dime there. I mean, in general, these guys have been just getting better and better and better as time has gone on, and you're seeing why here with their first win of the day. Now, again, still 7 more games to go. They're not that far ahead of Tianba, And then, but now Tiamba, the lead has extended quite a bit from MCG to Tiamba.
Yep, and I think losing that big duel against Entus for MCG, I don't think they picked up close to 0 kills in that game. Not too many of a point in that entire game so far, because they were supposed to push from the side after taking care of Entus. I think if they didn't lose too many and Entus going down for 0-4, then MCG pretty much had that chicken dinner. But Entus clutching it against one of the strongest team right now in terms of squad fights, that would actually boost them up in their confidence even more for Entus.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. And we're going to have to see if that plays out that way, but if it does, oh god, look out, world. I think...
and in fact, they actually had a pretty, I'm talking about Entus of course, pretty hard rotation for all the way from south was hidden until phase 3. And then all of a sudden they start coming in.
Yeah, alright guys, we are ready for game number 2, our last Miramar of the day. Buckle up, let's go. Here we go with Miramar once again, match 18 out of 24 here at PCS3 Asia. Today and tomorrow, guys, thanks again for tuning in. We love having you. We hope you're enjoying these games as much as we are. That last one was quite good, like non-stop fighting from like
Miramar.
phase 2. I know, I do too. From phase 2 on, it was just such a interesting game.
I love Paramount too. But, but surprisingly, finally, did not get to talk about Griffin as much. Finally, they're using Minsung. That has been the member for Griffin. That has been bringing #1 from a lot of the scrim. It has been the member of Asura, Two Heart, Juanita, Minsung, the squad that should be and to tap as a sub. Yeah, but for some reason, Minsung was never in the actual matches, but here he is. Yeah, finally.
I'm with you, 100%. I think it makes a lot of sense to have Minsung in there. I mean, we know if you've been watching any of the Korea leagues, which I hope you do, please do, as they are exciting.
And what you need to do.
Yeah, exactly. There is a lot of potential in Minsung. We've seen it a lot, and I'm curious to see how this Griffin squad does going forward. They're bottom team right now, and I don't think they're gonna want to fit. Finish that way.
No, not at all. And did you drink another coffee?
I'm like,
Not that bad.
yeah, it's not that bad. I'm like halfway through number 2, so not. I think all of my energy got sucked into Europe on Sunday because those were some just maniacal circles. They were actually just that game 3 on EU on Sunday when it finished down by Primorsk was actually amazing. Like one of my favorite circles I've ever seen. Top 5.
That's favorite thing with caffeine, brothers. Right there.
I was asleep during that
Oh,
one.
really? Even without caffeine?
I mean, I had gone to bed early. I couldn't make it. I watched APAC and then fell asleep. And then I watched the VODs, and then I was very happy as Avenger, the analyst for EU, mentioned. Yes, he knew I'd be happy about that.
Yep, of course, as Yamba, still number 2 on the board. Of course, Paraiso when they have the flight control. And Infantry is right there, right on top, as they always choose to go near Impala. Wish we get to see Genji, because this is the type of play that I mentioned. Even before going into Erangel, they just pick up one gun and immediately they shoot into the middle part of the circle, which they have not tried for a very long time, knowing their history all the way back. But after getting just a gun or 2, they immediately find a vehicle and then move out towards the middle. That's Loki right now already with an Onyx, drawing the dot into a line.
Yeah, I think for Genji, I think in circles like these, especially if they end up to the southwest of Los Leones, the problem for them has been getting into those circles. They have to make bad rotations around like phase 5 or something, where they have to just send it into a spot in the circle where they don't want to be, and then they end up losing the round with basically no kills because of it. And here you can see this push from Entus, the winning moments. I would say that's basically the winning moment for them against MCG, and then poor VLG try.
the kills. Easy push on the other side. That's real good chicken dinner for Entus.
Huge start for them. I mean, that's got to give them so much confidence, like we've talked about coming into this. Now, I think it's going to be really interesting for infantry as they have a huge split outside of Impala going forward. What they're going to do, Puerto Paraiso, is Tiamba territory, but nobody's even remotely close to them. I mean, nobody's even within like a kilometer of them right now, so they've got some room to maneuver and some room to breathe. For Entus, I would say of our top teams right now, they've got the hardest situation in front of them. They're heading, I would assume, towards La Bendita, and then we'll see where they go from there.
Yep, I think they, with Songjiang, come from the eastern side. Or Entus can just chill out towards the edge right now, and then move out when infantry moves out. Likely infantry will move out first. Which is exactly the pattern and the rotation that Entus has tried when they're playing these edge.
Yep, exactly. So, and infantry needs points as well. I mean, they're another team that I guess mathematically they're not out of it, I'd say. It would take they need to win like 4 games in the next 7. But it's not impossible. We've seen it with Divine. We've seen teams do this throughout PUBG esports, so I'm not counting it out. I'd say in Asia it's harder to do than maybe any other region, than maybe EU. But winning 4 games in 7 is very, very difficult. Now, MCG is still very much in this hunt, as they have left
that extra license if you want to go towards that mountain. So I think they will try, since they know that Genji has already moved out, they heard the vehicles towards Los Leones, that big road. This road in front should be packed with at least Genji plus another team from Leones. So MCG and GX, they should be going towards the south.
It's interesting to watch. There's actually, this one's a little bit slower on rotations than I'm used to seeing in this tournament. A lot of teams are kind of taking their time this go around. The hard shift, but a southern shift has kind of slowed things up. But Entus might be in a bit of trouble if 9 reveals himself and tries to go for some shots. Now Indigo drives along, going to try to use the
infantry set up a total trap against Entus, understanding they want to move in. And I was expecting Entus to make a later rotation because of this. This was a big potential, and they also did not hear infantry moving out from Impala.
Gale side sweeps, but not gonna do it there. 9 is so good right now. He is dialed in. He's gonna knock Kale, and it is under all alone out in a field, taking some damage now, retreating, trying to find safety.
Oh, no.
And I don't know if he can. Infantry's just gonna chase
They're on
him
a
down.
chase.
Yeah, they want to take him down.
Wow!
I mean, why not? The points are here. And I'm telling you, infantry's still in this.
I think after getting a chicken dinner, they got a little too confident about the rotation. Okay, and you can also go around Impala towards the beach side.
Sure.
It's a little harder to drive, but still, it's not that bad of a drive actually. As Entus just they thought about the easy way in and didn't really think about the first steps.
Well, now it's going to be up to Under to just snake points any way, anyhow he can. I wouldn't be surprised to see him make a move to go, like now you're saying, around towards that eastern road, towards Puerto, maybe get into Los Leones and just pray that the circle becomes a city circle or something, or that, he can get out of there. This is, and then they can get their points later on.
Similar in style like infantry has done against Entus. 4 AM again. Pretty good setup around Graveyard, just like the previous match, trying to catch K7's rotation. Crazy is just going to let that pass. And then set up a pretty good trap around, but Buyo.
He's up. This is outside of the circle. So I mean, it's only circle 1, so it's not the end of the world. But both of these players are, this is kind of one where I wonder if Crazy knows that Buyo is above him.
I think he does, as Buyo should have a vehicle nearby.
Counting the cars, waiting for that 4th one, and it turns out the 4th one was on a different angle than I think Crazy was expecting. If you look at the map, Buyo looks like he's going to kind of come out of there unscathed. Now the real question is Savior heading towards Forever there. Will that result in any kind of destruction? There is some damage done to Savior, and for now he gets out.
For now, and Forever might actually be trapped if K7 wants to stop, but even 4 AM, they have to make a long rotation towards Impala or into Paraiso, as that eastern side should be open, maybe contained by Tiamba.
Yeah, there's Tiamba right there. They are making their way further south. They're going to try to work south to north, potentially, depending on where this circle goes, but that's likely where it's going to end up is more towards the center. That's just statistics. Africa's leaving Los Leones. Infantry is ahead of them, and Infantry and Tiamba, once again, having similar ideas about how to approach this situation.
As Infantry made a pretty quick rotation all the way from the eastern side, and also Longskar was all the way on the back, and he knows that there's another squad that is Afrika Freaks on the map chasing them right behind. So
yeah, they're kind of just waiting for now with Longskar on the back, trying to see what exactly they want to do going forward. They might just wait this out. Oh no, forever. Wow, XDD just missing with that last bullet, not able to get the knock. Now he's going to try again, reload and go. It's somewhere crazy and racy. Blue are fighting Mill, and they get a knock and a quick finish. This is to the, I believe, the northeast of where all this is going on.
I think Forever just pinned where the opponents were, and then drew them out of the houses, and then Crazy and Xiaolu was getting the shots all the way from the back, and that was pretty clean, actually.
Circle, so they are going to be coming towards the top part of Los Leones. Meanwhile, Under, getting a view of him as he makes his long, late rotation way south. He's going way south, so he's not opting for the city snake strat, he's opting for the edge snake strat.
I would understand if he has like maximum kit and meds with like 60 bullets only. I think that's like the best play that he can pull off right now. Yeah, just snaking.
Pero, meanwhile, is struggling as PO does get a knock and a finish there for Gen G. And really today and tomorrow, we're going to be keeping our eyes on our top teams here for our observing. So just keep that in mind, folks at home. We're going to be much more focused today specifically on our top 6 teams.
Exactly.
More than anything else. We're trying to make sure that we have this top of the leader.
Move out with the vehicle. So that's the reason why we see 4 AM moving all the way from the eastern side of the city, as the city is huge and the circle totally moves away from them.
And there's no VSG here. They're a team that loves to set up Los Leones traps. They are not in this tournament, so...
By the way, farewell VSG.
Farewell. So long. Adieu. Thank you for all the wonderful games.
As still infantry is making it into the circle. Afrika Freaks, they have to be quick or else 4 AM is going to catch them.
Well, I'm a little worried here for some of these teams that are coming in from the north as this one went south. We'll see how this one comes out. Zhao K and New Happy rolling up along the side of MCG. You can see Gen G's making their...
Yeah, Griffin's Fortress is actually a really good spot, but you can't really get easy lead shot into where Gen G is rotating. Finally, they're getting some action with OPGG, as Gen G might struggle a lot more, even running into Tian, but they're stretching a little bit too far right now.
Yeah, this is what I worry about with Gen G in circles in situations like this. They tend to just over-rotate, get a little bit too far, and try to get something really center that is a little bit exposed. You can see Tiamba's moving away from this. They don't want to fight it. They're going to go retreat to the high ground and find that to be a safer situation.
This is a lovely spot. I thought Tiamba was going to come for push before. It is totally not a safe spot against GEX, who's right next to him.
Well, the compound that GEX has just next to Gen G is a good one to push from. It's a little hard to defend, but if you're the last team alive in that compound, you have a good chance if the circle's anywhere near there. Now, Lingdu is in a bit of a skirmish with VLG.
Yes.
VLG is kind of wrapping around in front of MCG, trying to leapfrog ahead.
Yeah, this is exactly where VLG loves to have that 2-2 split. They had 1-1-1-1 split last week in the same position. And we might run into a somewhat similar circle ending.
And then it hard shifted away from them.
Again? If it happens again, it's just destiny.
Destiny, yeah.
They can't do much.
Speaking of Tanky, he's going to get the knock onto Spear for MCG, and him and Lambu are hanging out. Nope.
Infantry already setting up a line against 4 AM after hearing the vehicles. Infantry, Longskar is coming.
All right, Longskar is waiting. He's going to, I think, try to pop on the back vehicle. and infantry is going to pick up 2 in transition, it looks like.
SLR doing the job, infantry, getting a couple of sweet points as 4AM made a very late rotation, sort of forced by K7 after checking out all Leones.
Oh no, it is Destiny, G-Clef. It just goes hard away from
Oh,
VLG. Again! Now, GEX, if they can hold this down, has a fantastic spot in this circle. Genji is okay, but it's exposed. Tiamba, lucky, in my opinion, to come out with his life with how close he was.
Yes, I think Tiamba will be pushing on to them at the next upcoming circle, unless we again have this hard shift towards the south. Genji actually pretty safe. GEX will actually be somewhat of a protection like guards with Genji right below him. I love the quick rotation. As soon as the Pelican pop, GEX forced all 4 men together so they do not lose any position.
I mean, for Genji, the problem becomes there's a lot of high ground around them. They're in a bit of a kind of a dip, so it can be a little tricky. I've seen teams pull it off, though. It's doable.
And if the other teams don't have, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Destination Gaming, wait!
All right, you gotta win this. You gotta win this. This is a huge moment for Genji. This has gotta go well. A good grenade from Pito.
Easy win.
Easy peasy. AO picks up the last one on to get Detonation Gaming White, but they were not ready for Genji.
Yeah, this was exactly near where we had the finish last week, where Tiamba just got a huge win. And I think OPGG is thinking about pushing, and GEX should be helping out. As again, another rotation into exactly where Genji is. You happy? Like none.
Too happy now is over towards Afrika up on the side, up on the northeast. A good grenade into EJ's face, gonna set him prone, going for his heels. Long skirt and infantry in the meantime have settled up on the southeast of this.
And infantry, they also want a piece with already 5 kills in their pockets. Afrika being challenged by New Happy, diving in. Wow, Jiao is just taking all that ground control against GJ. Is down now.
Well, this is...
And Roja,
we've been looking to see New Happy pick it up on Miramar, and this might be their round to shine. We'll see if they can fend off Afrika and infantry. That's going to give them a lot of confidence, I would think, going forward. Now, Afrika, though, has to... GG helping once again finish another team off.
Yeah, Jiaoyan came all the way out from the storage side, where I don't think anyone covered that angle from New Happy or Afrika Freaks. Good push, making sure Longster was buying all the attention from front line. Yeah, infantry still showing their power, that they can certainly move up to the top view.
Now MCG finds themselves in a tent to hang out and wait to see what this next circle does before they make their move. And yeah, this just centers right up. It's a big old donut on this one.
Yeah, when Sun Sisters, they want to move down from that hillside, they will be targeted from multiple different angles. Even GEX will get easy shots. MCG, I think they just have to steal a few points if it's possible from that angle and not really run away, unless they have a really good chance when there's other fights going on right next to him.
Under, still alive.
He's still alive.
He's still alive. He has himself another vehicle as he is going to go towards one of these busted up churches and see what's going on. And for now, there are a few shots ringing out towards him as he's making a little bit more noise, which makes things, of course, challenging for him, looking to see if there's anybody around. In fact, there's nobody home right now. Back over to the surviving members of 4AM. 2 alive for them, and K7 looms.
Yes. The Genji should be easy shots.
Ooh,
As
what?
Loki was...
Oh my god. Oh no, Loki wasn't ready for that one. I don't think anybody would be.
No.
Pio's trying to hold the line here, see if he can finish the job, and Onyx stepping up to try to back up Genji. A lot of members of infantry going down. Pio coming up huge for Genji right now as AO steps in again to save Genji's bacon. Longsker is down.
Still, as Pio actually goes down to Tiamba from all the way down. Linshu came for that information across the road.
Oh, easy. He cut across the road without anybody noticing, and now he is getting points because of it and making Genji suffer. Oh no, Aqua's 5
is toxic.
It's so bad here, and Onyx is res, but he's stuck in nothing but a single smoke, and he's gonna have to find some way to stay alive and win this, and this becomes the problem for Gen G. Too many teams are too interested in this spot.
Infantry actually made a very smart rotation in, not directly into Gen G. They herped those shots, so came right on top.
And so, okay, Under's still alive. He's all alone. Now, Sun Sister did hear that, and I don't know how interested they are in letting Under survive because of it.
Oh, I think they're about to push from the top. That should be one of the easier kills that they want to make it happen. OPGG, they should have line of sight against them, but it's not too close to them. As a circle, we do have the northwest shift. Still GEX in a good control. MCG surprisingly will be keeping a pretty good position.
Under jumps to actually see how close Sun Sister is to him there. Meanwhile, Tianba, this road is now a death trap. They got one member across it, they got a point, but at what cost? Because now everybody else is falling apart and there's nowhere for them to go. Circle shifts away from the PGG, continues to farm from the top.
The OPGG did not push too far, only picking up what they needed when Gen G was getting all the... So okay, Gen G was doing all the cooking, OPGG just eating. Eating out of those plates.
All the day because they might try to recover from that game that they almost won on Miramar where Tianba ended up winning. I felt like they had a shot at it and they might want some redemption here.
Yep, as Under to jump into vehicle as Savior. Oh no, 4 AM. Two snakes right in this road, and they actually might bring K7 down. Or at least delay them from even reaching the circle, and Under might just get a few more points because of this.
I was going to ask you, what do you think Under should do? Should he shoot?
Yes.
Try to pick up the points?
100% on SLR, so had to switch.
Yeah, it's just, and it's tough trying to get those long-range M4 shots. AO's going to find Gyao Nu Happy out in 11th. Meanwhile, Tianba scrambling, attempting to find some entrance, some door that is open, but GEX is here, and they are not interested in opening it, and Leo gets the opening knock, and it's going to be Yan Li finishing the job. Now over to 4AM Lu. Lu has one. He's going through the smoke, finding the other. And
1-1.
That is it. It is just Lu left here as Lock. Ooh, he gets stunned in the face. The blue's almost on top of him. He might go down to the blue if he's not careful. That's going to force him up. He takes a ticket damage. Indeed, it's going to be Lu taking him down.
Xiaolu still stays on Strong and GX. They don't want to let this go. They want to take him down.
Onyx was still hanging out over here, or at least they might have just kind of gotten so distracted with 4 AM. Now Onyx is seeing if he can come into the flank of this. Lu does go down to Leo, so that's all eyes, all attention. GEX onto Onyx. He's going to go down. And a 6th place finish for Gen G, but some decent amount of kills there. Tough position to be in. And they do okay with it, though.
Yeah, not bad. As GX still keeping that squad, will be coming down from the higher hillside. But because OPGG actually has a lot of good terrain to move out, either towards north or staying in the east, can actually force a lot of other teams to fight before reaching them. So OPGG I think has the best idea of highest percentage of getting the chicken dinner in this match.
Now I think Sun Sister should wrap all the way to the south side of the circle if they can.
They should have already.
Yes, they should have, yes. But they should. I think they can do this. They'll cut off GEX a little bit, and they might have a chance at actually taking the first chicken dinner for a non-Chinese or Korean team.
OPGG, they had a lot of these chances, but every single time, unless the circle got right on top of them, they missed the chicken dinner opportunities. I think this is another chance for OPGG right now with VLG actually pushing into Sun Sisters. Perfect, pushing them out. Only fight they have to think about is against GEX right now on this east side. MCG, they can just chill with 2 members right in the middle.
And I think GEX might just kind of nestle up right underneath OPGG, and there might be some grenades and stuff thrown. If there are any and VLG shooting in the backside of OPGG while all this is going on. Grenades are now starting to come out. CC gets the opening knock onto Silky. Silky has fallen, but first knock there, so smokes are coming down.
And not too far away, and the 2 Apaka AO from the back, they do have covering fire, but they don't have too much time. I don't think they should go for the res at all. Just covering the angles and shooting from the high ground should be it. With Dumbo just keeping the front line. As Leo is actually pushing from the side.
All right, Dumbo is going to see it. No cover the backside of that. They're pushing right into OPGG. Alphaka's the only one left. AO goes down. Alphaka can't hold. GEX coming up big, taking OPGG out.
That was pretty quick. Well handled by GEX now. They have Most of the circle, high ground control. This is about the fight. It's all about the fight on the west. Sun Sisters versus BLG. Deva make Lambu gets the first knock. Even MCG getting a taste from the side. They're pushing in.
Dead.
Sun Sisters
Dead. Down and out. Sun Sisters just they absolutely could do it. MCG, we've seen it with Summer and Evo Lee there. It'd be nice to have Tanky, of course, but those two players are for sure able to get it done. GEX fanning out along the eastern edge, covering up the hills, seeing if they can get along that ridge line there and work it out for now. It's part of it's in, and they're going to be safe. The real question is, where does this, where are they going to make their move? Because they have to come over that hill.
Even
their respective teams going forward. Summer is finished by CC. Hikari in a duel. Evil Lee is not able to get those shots really to connect as well as GEX's CC.
And meanwhile, this is going on. VLG trying to surround the entire squad of GEX. Lambu's position, I think he has to go a little bit quicker. Evil Lee will be taken care of soon enough. Actually staying alive for quite a time.
I don't know if he can hold on much longer. The stun was good, and that is going to be Evil Lee and MCG out in third place. Lambu comes up, completely catches Maoye. No clue that's coming. That's going to be one down and out for GEX, and now they have three flanks to look at. Hikari's going to get CC. This is looking really good. Leo does return the favor. He's going to get...
Just going all the way out, reaching them, knowing that there has to be a turret all the way in the back, getting that high ground control, and they have made that sneaky play. VR Luke Ghibli. It's been a long time since they got the chicken dinner.
Yep, it's been a little bit. It's been a hot minute, but they are back, and they are one of those teams that absolutely can be in contention. This should throw them right up towards the top of that leaderboard. They were in the top 5 to start the day. They're going to be really close to that top 3, I'd say.
Is it really happening? The odd days for Korea, even days for China. Like so far, Ojianentis, VLG seems like it's going for Korea today so far, and slightly disappointed from OPGG's dominant play. I think they had a lot of great terrain control all the way from the top, but GEX, they showed something else today that they have not shown at all throughout the tournament.
That was the best round we've seen for GEX.
Yes.
Everything was going their way, and they took a good position. They worked well with it. They picked up a lot of kills. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. The best round we've seen from them.
Yes, as they almost had the chicken dinner, but MCG, they actually come up the hill, wrapped around Sun Sisters, wanted a few more points, forcing
trying to hit the backside of GEX a little sooner, because they could have been that last team. I mentioned it early on. When you're the last team to come out of that warehouse, you have a really good shot at winning this round. GEX, in this case, was that team because no one else came behind them. They just kind of held that down. No one even... tried for it, and then at the end of the day, it placed in a lot of kills.
I think Sun Sisters, they expected MCG because knowing that they only have 2 left, they would just stay in the middle, trying to get those sweet kill points, not expecting them to come from the other side. As we get a lot of run-in into Genji, but lost with infantry.
GX2 were also attempted to be run into, but from not the best of angles to attack that particular compound. And you can see here, OPGG just cannot stand up against that assault by GX.
And GX, they had somewhat of knocks. They had about 3-4 knocks, but they actually closed in together, making sure they have a backup within the next members. And they stayed with near full spot until the end. Well played by GX in this round.
No, you got to give them a ton of credit. They really showed us something special there. They looked like, the best version of themselves. Their mechanics were good. Their decision making was.
Ih, kok bisa mak? Mana aku tahu? Astaga, ada menelpon.
That we are ready for game number 3 on the day. Erangel, 2 more to go for day number 5. Go time. Green. Little mountains here
Go
and there.
time, baby.
Some trees.
Yamba, Genji. This is not the last day.
Yeah, okay, Genji's out a little bit later than Tianba. Tianba's splitting with this. It's 3 out and then 1 late to watch the shoots.
Okay, Genji's going north with 2 to split.
Yep, it looks that way. This is more what we saw from Genji. I think Genji might have been fighting during the scrims to try to keep Tianba in check to make sure, because we saw Tianba reaching out to North George a lot to mess with Genji.
And especially when there's a very shifted circle, shifted phase 1, either towards the east, west, Genji would make very early rotation, like I have mentioned in the previous match, get a gun or 2, and then immediately at least win the rotational fight against Tianba. That was exactly what Genji was looking for during the scrim, all 4 rounds. So expect that to happen again in terms of at least rotations.
I want it to happen. I am ready for it as we watch some of the other teams make their drops. GEX over by the chopsticks, hanging out towards where one of our circles ended up, where Pero got one of their wins, their 3 in a row. Came near this very, very location. Infantry has to gather up and head down to their typical spot after grabbing a US, which is, I don't know what people call this spot. I just call it trash loot. Yes. Woo! Beautiful. I finished my coffee, so I think it's time. I think we're ready for a absolutely just wheels off circle.
Which where do you want it to end?
Where?
Near the Mount Everest or the Western Beach side?
The Western
South
Beach
George?
the Western Beach is good. Inside of South George would actually be amazing because that fight that should have happened would never really happen between Tianba and Genji. Oh, this is the replay.
Yeah, this is the replay. I was about to say, like, oh, this.
I was like, that's not Miramar. I mean, that's not Erangel.
No.
That's Miramar. I thought we were done with this map. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, VLG, smart rotating push, understanding GEX's rotation.
Dude, Hikari took the opening bullet there too. He could have gone.
Yeah, he could have gone down.
Gosh, his reaction, so good. He is just like one of these players that he's so good, but he's never really been on a team that's like competed for a title until now. Like Detonator's always kind of hanging around at the international events, but they've never really been there on the last day where I'm going, this is a team that I think has a shot to win. VLG absolutely in a position to do that.
I think he has finally found the right home for himself. As with Spear Diva, I think he can just excel. As we have seen some parachute kills happening.
Oh my god.
As it shouldn't really happen too many times. Pero's still on parachute trying to go into military base or even find a vehicle right before that.
Well, I just looked at the map and Lin is totally watching this. And I think he was considering trying to take some shots from the 6-pack there, but he doesn't really have that great of an angle or opportunity to do it at this point, and basically
not fighting 4 AM anymore, but because they were forced out by 4 AM in terms of rotation, this shouldn't be as bad, but still you do have to sort of move into that southern side when you're talking Jorgopol, and I think VLG always getting a late on the end of rotation because of 4 AM has been hurting their play a lot in Erangel.
Yeah.
And similar type of rotation again.
Look at where Hikari is. He's the first one up on top of the South George Mountain. He's the first one there, not Tianba or Genji. It's Hikari, which is quite fascinating to see him come up there uncontested. Great job by our observer showing this. This is actually a really important moment in this game and in this tournament for VLG because they are left uncontested to have this high ground and get all the information.
Still having the vehicle all the way up here will get a lot of this one-story houses towards that western beach side early on. They would still have 1-3 split with PO in the front. I think They want to go all the way even towards where Juanita is.
That's pretty typical for Genji on these Western Erangel circles. So yeah, definitely not too surprising at all these days to see them. 4 AM cutting across the bottom side of the mountain, getting in the grill of Tianba a bit, but it is going to be, I think that's Godvi there in front. Godvi is going to not quite come close enough to Tianba. To get their ears to perk up. Instead, he's heading towards Sun Sister a bit, maybe. Nope, Sun Sister is going to ring some shots out. Godby moseys along, and he is setting up more to the west.
Yeah, those two, the Koreans, what Koreans call the honey houses, with the stories, that's a really nice compound to actually have, even against Genji. Genji can push them from the side, but not very unlikely at this point of the game. Korean actually...
What?
Okay, they're going for it.
Wow, they're going to surround this, so they just decide to go for it. Crazy Sam right there, puts 2 down.
No.
Standing tall for
no.
Japan is Crazy Sam. Finishes 1. Forever on the side now. Forever does get Kendes, but Kendes gets Godby in the situation here. Forever has Kendes down. Lou and Godby, Forever all alone right now. He turns, he gets Polly. Can he get another? Oh my god. Forever is cracked out of his darn mind. And now it's Luren from Tianba. They have reached out and they're going to try to third party this. Faye goes down from Forever. Forever is a one-man wrecking crew.
He's taking the entire squad down by himself. As Tianba is going to, at the end, it's going to be Tianba basically surrounding and taking the compound, I think, or just moving back. I think they want to stretch out even a little further. But I think they heard Genji moving towards the side. Yeah, that fight cannot be lasting too long as Forever and Crazy Sam might just stay.
Well, this is interesting. It's the best from Japan. One of the best from Japan. He managed to get himself into that room. I'm assuming he was pretty well flashed up at that point. That's just goes to show how well his senses are of his position.
And moving in directly into the room. Pretty good mover. And also, if he got any more body shots instead of the headshot, I think he would have lost that too, 1v1. The incredible play coming out from Crazy Sam, one of the best player from Japan. 4 AM though, unfortunately.
I don't know why they did that. I'll save my thoughts for later. We do have some teams cutting across what people refer to as Everest, and I squint my eyes at them as that is not the tallest point on this map. But anyway, MCG, you can't really see down there well.
Yeah. Even if you see him, it has to be a pretty long shot. Unless you get pretty lucky with the headshots, it's going to be really hard to take anyone down from all the way up there. As MCG is actually making a reverse rotation into these compounds after hearing few shots coming from Tianba and also VLG. Because VLG was thinking about going down to the compounds and immediately MCG, great decision making.
Yeah, I like this here by VLG because they knew that there was a chance that they crash into, I think, Lamb. In case MCG goes a little bit further, they're there to support. Meanwhile, Entis is over to the west of the Chopsticks, pretty familiar territory for them. And OPGG right underneath, and New Happy underneath that.
Entis is having a pretty wide 2-2 split near on top of Gaka and near the Chopstick side. As OPGG, I think they would go challenge into Entis if they had a better idea.
Go west, go west, go west, go west, go west, go west, go.
Okay, 3 more seconds.
I'm trying to channel
Here we
it.
go.
It's mostly centered up. Cuts a lot of the water out. Come on. It's going to be the fields most likely somewhere.
Yes.
Either, to the ones up by Gatka or by Hospital. That's typically where I see these end up.
Yeah, near the electric lines, I think might just be the ending. As a lot of the teams will actually go towards that dip right
up is pretty strong. I see Buriram United do this a lot, where they just kind of work this edge really well. There's the road, but there's a hill underneath that road that you can kind of use. You can fend off all the other teams around you. You can stay underneath that road and survive for a long time.
Exactly, these pull points is what a lot of teams will be looking for. Tiamba, because they actually stayed on right on top of it, they knew that there was no one else. And having that easy rotation. Going into that right center. Let's see, Kari, Iron Sight. But a pretty slow target. Scar.
What are your feelings on the Scar Iron Sight? He had a 3x. He could have sprayed with that. Come on now.
I would put punching on top of Scar.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't blame you.
Or throwing those number 4s.
I can't stand it. I cannot stand that Iron Sight. Anyway, AO here is a little under half health, as there is a crate over there just to his left, but New Happy is probably not going to let that happen, assuming there's stuff still in it. I kind of doubt it. We don't know for sure. We haven't gotten a shot of it or seen anybody come in or out of that crate necessarily. Had the things that indicate there was the level 3 there.
K7 made it up with the vehicle, so Ghibli, they know what's up right onto the other side of the mountain. But Lambu is actually all the way down. They might actually retreat down the mountain, since Ghibli, they do have vehicles.
Well, they gotta go pretty soon, or just wait this out. He's been kind of looking all the other directions, and he's taking peeks up over the hill.
Screen, and who's shooting that far from anywhere? And it has to be MCG. Oh, actually running into Kari goes down first. Buyo.
Oh, Spear is good. Is he gonna get another? Oh my goodness. Buyo avoids disaster there, just gets his head underneath, but on the side, he's got some good help. Oh my god, Spear. Nope, just a bit too far.
As this only 2 men up here, as they heard the rotation down from K7. Good timing push. As long as they can keep Hikari alive, this will be totally worth it for a point or 2. As K7, I think they should just let Buyo do whatever he wants to, and just remain with the 2 members into Gakka or near Gakka. There are some spots where you can pull out the vehicles.
Yeah, I think for Buyo now, its operation just stay alive, just be safe. It doesn't look like there's... This is kind of weird for me for K7, G-Clef, because K7 had vehicles, and they used both of them to get down the mountain and left their 2 members stranded up there without any.
And I think V7, they should have also had real good idea that VLG was right in front. Actually, they will come all the way and keep Lockslock alive. Keep Buyo alive with that rotation. Genji coming into the swamps. You see...
PO with an M4, you love to see it. No, that's not necessarily by choice, that's probably by necessity, as timing was important for Genji to get across the bridge, get over to the other side as quickly as possible, because they know that Tianba is not happy to let Genji do anything that Genji wants to do early Erangel.
Yeah, early rotation certainly working out better for Genji from the west coast, as don't exactly know that Griffin's all the way out, but other than Griffin, they know that there has been no other rotation. And with good understanding, I think they can make safer rotation compared to other Erangel games. Lambu looking for that final rotational, the tail.
Well, Detonation Gaming White has done it so far. Now Infantry popping some shots, and it doesn't really connect. So Detonation Gaming White makes a really nice rotation here. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, love the pathing. They short through the sort of a valley right there in the middle. And this will be one of the easier rotations from them. NTG again cutting across near where Entus was right before.
VLG has 2 back on the mountain watching this rotation, giving the information over to Spear and Lambu, who are pushing up into Gatka. Gatka has enough room for 2, maybe 3 teams if they're nice. If they want to play nice. If they don't want to play nice, then 2 is usually about the most you're going to get in there.
That fight still continues. Xavier moving out of Gatka, understanding that VLG, they have more members, more vehicles. It was also split away from Buyo and Lockslock, away from the left side of Chopsticks.
This one's pretty interesting. It's about half field, half, foresty mountain kind of thing.
Yes, and these spots where OPGG has this 1-1-1 split set up, when the circle likely going to come in towards the side, when they have that set up, western side usually before the hill gets cleaned up by the other team. As long as you're keeping that field open towards the east, and OPGG can just get easy steal kills, and that's the exact it's going to challenge. That's a small shack for an entire squad.
You say that, and then somebody like
that wizard house,
just
of course.
rolls up.
Yeah, or Pero.
Yeah, just somebody that does something that you're not expecting, what is out of the ordinary, and it is going to be the Gatka Fields is where we're looking. Now, Entis, yeah, the 2-2, we both saw this immediately and are thinking, what do you do here if you're Entis? This is a tough one. Both of your compounds are kind of equidistant from the center of the circle.
Depends if they lose. I don't think they will lose anyone from using the lower side of the field. MCG is not going to get too many shots in. And understanding this is the big field, as they had to make that choice, but they know that MCG is right above them. And knowing that K7 also pulled towards Chopsticks, this is the best compound that Entis could have gone into.
Opens the door for MCG to take the compound that Entis just left. MCG quick on the gun to get there. Nice movement by them to claim that open real estate. Now Crazy Sam still alive. 3 kills for him. Crazy Sam, what a moment there for him. Picking up too early in the push from 4 AM and then finishing the job. He gets a knock on a Loki even. This guy is an incredible player. You guys got to check him out. He streams. He's an amazing talent, even though he goes down from Japan. Just what a player.
Yes, still, if he got a kill knock onto Aqua 5, it could have been deadly for Genji. With just 1 knock, I think they should be okay, but oh! Mao Ye stealing that kill when he was getting that res.
Then he just turns and runs. He takes the point. Thank you very much.
Revenge.
Yeah, over to Tianba, who's crashing into New Happy on the southern side. They're cutting clear across the field to get here as members of Tianba. Now, Lin Shun has plenty of throwables, and he's going to expend a lot of them to try to make this push work. Some initial damage comes into Shao K. Now we're coming up the stairs. Shao K is here. Shao K gets 1. He gets the flush. Now the other member comes up and over. Peaks, repeats. He's going to get it onto Shao K.
Not enough bullets. Still up for a challenge. Shot immediately fired by Ming Ming as this still continues. A lot of other
teammate?
A lot of other team. Might actually just cut across.
What are you doing, Ming Ming? I think that's a little bit just shoot at anything you see. You get in the tunnel vision mode.
Yeah, or you're shooting at some target and your teammate just cut across right in front of you. That's usually what happens. Oh! Lost that. That was timing that you could not miss. And Shu, you know something's up.
Ooh, he gets a piece. He gets a piece of New Happy. Push on through. Oh, Ming Sung comes in, and it is disaster here for Tianba. It was Lycanon, not Min Sung. Min Sung was killing Peril.
Yeah, Min Sung, right below the
close to this fight.
Yeah, very close, about 100 meters out. Yeah, Griffin Peril pulled out at exactly the same time. Those compounds are actually really hard to guard against the teams challenging in. Lots of terrain right next to it. Lots of fences.
That's a good point. AO here. Going to get the knock onto, and the finish onto Yan Li, but Leo has the knock on to Dunbo, and now Genji.
They have some idea.
Yeah, yep. This is, if that grenade is good on the money, there's some damage done onto Gokuri. That grenade doesn't really hit much for Genji as they now wrap, because the circle is pushing them in, but they've got a good angle on top of Detonation Gaming White.
Chow might be able to cook Genji right now as Gokuri goes down immediately, but the 2 members right next to Genji, they're on a run. They had to go. I think they waited a little too long.
They gotta get prone. It's gonna be a headshot from Lin. Gets an Onyx. He's getting the smokes down at least. Maybe can get the res. I'm not sure if there's enough of an angle here for Lambu or Lin or any other team to get that finish. As Machao does go down to the blue, so he's not able to get up and pop it out in time. Instead, it's gonna be Pio raking it in for free.
Yeah, Pio on the rage mode.
Yeah.
No one can stop him.
No, that is true. There are very few in the world who can stop Pio when he is angry. And now, speaking of angry, it's going to be infantry in a US, and they might be
1 vehicle.
They're trying to take advantage of this fighting they heard up on top of here, but yeah, 1 vehicle, clown car, a lot of shots. That's 1 out. There might be more coming. Sungjong, Entis. Oh boy.
Good switch. The driver went down immediately, getting that driver's seat. And not bad. Losing one man, but still keeping the bottom part of this small hill should be okay. But where are you going to stay? That's the concern. Because Entus, they have an open wide angle at any team that stays near OPDG.
Yeah, it looks like Ghibli's going to have to place something in this field. They're going to have to find something they like and set up a vehicle compound. Infantry now ditches the vehicle, but right into the waiting open arms of AO. One down. Let's see if AO can hold this down and finish off infantry. Ooh, I don't think he saw.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think he saw. He's going to hear that, though. He can't come out that window safely.
Flash.
There's no way you could vault in time. Good flash by 9.
Nicely done by infantry, although they lost another member, still being able to keep that house. Now will be challenged by Griffin immediately from the side of the hill. They're right on top. GEX also Genjing pushing, but whoever the winner is from that side will not be getting a chicken dinner from that side at all.
Oh
So
boy. Oh,
maximum
no.
they can do is get some kill points.
Yeah, VLG, they have a very difficult situation where they have to get into the field. There's nothing else left. They have to set up some kind of, encampment, and they have a ton of smokes already being used. There's still a few left here, and I think they might be able to get this res, barring some unlucky fire or grenades.
Oh, but MTG's coming. You see smokes? That's exactly where you throw nades. They have a lot of smokes, but if they use everything up now, they cannot stay in the fields.
Yeah, they gotta win this fight, and they gotta do it quickly. Deva tries to get the spray onto Evil Lee, but it's actually Kale from Entus who puts shots into him. He probably is a little bit unsure of exactly where those bullets hit him, because he's got multiple angles that he's gotta be dealing with. Grenades are now raining in. In the meantime, Griffin is taking on teams on the southwest and doing well with it. Molly's on top, a little bit too far. That one's gonna be a little bit too short, but VLG is very banged up.
And we do have the circle right on the field with Entus in it. And Genji right now, they're dribbling towards the edge against Griffin. Asura actually taking a lot of members down, even against GEX. It's going to be on the right bottom corner of your screen.
All right,
Genji.
yeah,
Pio left.
Yeah, Pio's trying to get something going on the down there. Tanky comes up. Tanky takes VLG down. Now he's showing up. There's one left. I think he's going to finish it, or somebody might. Deva was very, very hurt. Now he's proning down inside of the field, and Tanky's just watching the edge. Stun comes through to buy Tanky some time. Grenade's good enough.
Yeah, look at Kale. Kale actually stepped out looking for those kills and making sure MTG cannot overstep too much. And Under all the way at the western side, making sure they have no one left in the field. They're already setting up for that big win here, where they still have the compound control. Griffin winning against two big teams.
Yeah, Griffin showing signs of life. They haven't flatlined just yet. Trying to get something, trying to find a respectable finish. Pero is going to suffer a fall at the hands of Afrika. And now Entus looks good. MCG looks good. Afrika has to get into the circle, and they kind of have to duel a little bit of MCG and 9 as well. And Indigo gets on top of the house, and he is going to pepper people from there.
Evili Lingdu all the way towards Afrika right now. Cannot get knocked, or else Entus is actually going to do a lot more. Under already using the vehicle, positions right in the middle of the next phase.
Under's got to be careful of 9. 9 is kind of the person right now who has the best angle onto him, and Under, maybe that hill's enough in the way that Under doesn't have to worry about it too much, but 9 has to come into the next circle. Instead, he's just going to try to fight Afrika right now. There are two members over there. Headshot onto Roa there, puts him down to very low health, and 9 is hurt too.
Exactly. Better signs for MCG. Better to pull off against Afrika because Entus will be pushing through. And it's better to keep the squad together towards the northern line and let these two fight before.
All right, Under. There you go.
Came all the way across.
Perfect. Just he knew that hill was enough to keep him, kind of covered. And 9 didn't come over that hill, so he knows where 9 is.
Will this be an overextension? Indigo's got him covered up somewhat. And they have very open wide to split. Indigo's right behind. And Songjang's going to put one down. Afrika freaks. They still have to...
Well, I think the utility's good here for Entus, so they're also hedging their bets with where the circle ends up going. And if they can finish Afrika off, and maybe they're hoping that MCG helps them out a bit, Entus can, just kind of pick up a bunch of kills, and then force MCG into a crossfire. Indigo!
Under!
Oh my god!
Paprika's falling apart with just 2 men from the side. MCG's not even getting a shot in because they just can't. They have to push through, and when they push through towards the south, it forces a harder rotation towards the real body of Entus, who's actually on top.
This is so nice for Entus, the confidence to make this maneuver. They're going to pick up a lot more kill points and probably put them in a position to potentially get the win.
It is still risky because they do have Under all the way at the bottom. They do have the compound control, and MCG, if they get a good knock onto KO, they are going to have some time to actually move in. Under just trying to do magic. Songjang Under.
I love it.
Okay. It could have been risky, but just pushing far, getting a knock, and then pushing, going back out. Understanding that MCG, this is the timing for them to push into Entus.
All right, Songjang's trying to catch damage. It is Summer who is knocked, so Ling Du is here. Johnny on the spot going for the res. Songjang, in the meantime, takes a quick peek behind the house and waits to see what's going on as Eva Lee knows full well where he is and what he's doing. Indigo, in the meantime, roaming around the center. Under's going to finish Roa off. That knock he got from vaulting on top of the hay bale. I don't see players do that basically ever. I love that maneuver by Under.
That knock onto Summer was crucial. MCG was about to push into the next line with the vehicles that they have. And Entus, 10 kills already. Maximum they can get is 14. And 4v4.
4v4.
We had this before.
We did. First place and third place gonna duke it out to try to finish this one. Entus looking for their second win, looking to extend their lead. Early damage being done to Songjang. First aid gonna be used up. Now it is a little bit of a vehicle movement here for Summer and Lingdu. It's nice to have those vehicles available in a circle like this.
Songjang keeping the backup control from the turret from on top of the house. I think he just came down to open up another angle from the eastern side. Indigo already with a pretty big trap. With the smokes, they pretty much know where they're coming from. And the next circle, Entus has total control of this.
Yeah, they got to get this opening knock here. Does MCG? They saw Indigo and he's crawling back. There is enough smoke there to obscure the vision. Now Songjang comes alive. Songjang has a great angle. Gonna get the knock onto Tanky. The top fragger for MCG down already. Now it's gonna be up to the surviving 3 to try to finish the job.
Yeah, you have some time to get that drink off for the extra energy. But the Summer comes big time, takes down Under from the side. It's a big wing that they need.
Indigo goes down now as well. Songjang continues to make it hurt. Lingdu, the only one left for MCG. He's coming through. There are smokes here to go for the res. Does Kale have any throwables? He's trying to go for the angle right now. Knows full well that the res is being attempted. He's trying to find a counter angle.
Yep, he's trying to find an angle, but Spice buying the same time because Songjang's coming in for the backup. He was waiting for him to come, as that will be finished 2-2 left for MCG and also Entus.
All right, these frags are monumental for Songjang. That first one's gonna be good right on Summer. Gonna get the knock. Now he's looking for the second or the finish. Lingdu has to wait back. It is not safe. Danger here for Lingdu. Now he gets up, looking to see if he can spot out any members. Stun is here. Kale spots him out. Kale gets the shots. Entus gets their second win of the day.
And again, 2 chicken dinners for OG and Entus. That's going to put up quite a lead for them, as they were up pretty high against Yama, against MCG, but taking a pretty big opponent down in the top 3 with your own hand. That's got to be big going into the final match today.
It's monumentally huge for Entus.
14 kills.
Just incredible. 12 kills in their first win, 14 in this one. Already a 40-plus point day for Entus, looking to have the best day we've seen from any team so far here in PCS3 Asia. The best we've had, 47 points coming into this. Entus is not too far away from that.
Wow, what a dominant play. Having that big 2-2 split was risky, but after knowing so many teams were clumped up from that western side near the Pentagon, I think that's the reason why they still kept 2-2 split. It was risky, and there were lots of risky decisions that Entus made, but because they sort of knew that this was their day. This has to be the day for Entus. They had the confidence after getting that big Miramar win, ended up costing even more for them with better kill points.
It's it's great to see the confidence that they have, and I think a lot of that is because of, like you were talking about earlier, G-Club, the accuracy is propelling their confidence. When you're this accurate, when you're this dialed in with your mechanics, with your shooting, with your recoil control, all of those things, that just, you know, leads to good decisions, to the confident decisions that, you know, be aggressive, take the fight to the other teams.
When they know that there is a pretty high chance that they will have chicken dinner, they turn that into 100%. They make those risky but perfect plays. They can get maximum kills, and they don't overextend too much. It could have been somewhat of an overextend with Under, but there was always a backup with Indigo. So 2-2, getting some a lot of angle cover by the other two from the compound was huge. And OG and Entus, it was mostly just a cleanup. Of course, MCG, they did not go down without a fight. They certainly had the firepower, but because they were sort of from the outer circle, it was easier for Entus to read.
Yeah, and Under gets 5 kills in this one, and you're seeing why he was such a valued player for Entus to pick up during the off season after PGC last year, because he is one of the best fraggers in Korea. When I did an interview right after PGC, when I got back to Korea, with an esports magazine here, and they asked me who I thought, if I could make a dream team of 4 players, who was on it at that time. And Under was already in there. He hadn't even moved over to OGN yet. And I was just like, no, I think Under is one of the most underrated players in the world. And now we're finally seeing, with the right team, he is just so good.
And Entus, 24 points in a match from a single match of Erangel. They have to be all the way up there now in first place. MGG still 13 points, not bad. I think they caught up all the way near Tiamba, because Tiamba only having 14th place, 1 point from this match.
Yikes. That's a big yikes. Big yikes for Tiamba. Yeah, I think MCG is going to be real close to Tiamba right now. Indeed, 1 point behind. 1 point behind. But on the top, with the first team to crest 100 kills, is OG and Entus.
25 points away, if my math is correct, and Under top 3, Fearlu Ghibli with 22 points away, so we're seeing some big gap, but between first and fourth, 50-point gap. So it has to be, by now, about the top 3. And we can still talk about like top 5, but I think it's slowly moving away from the other teams.
I think you're absolutely right. It may be top 6, but 60 points is a lot in 5 games. I mean, it take one of the best rounds you've ever seen. Just one of the best performances ever in PUBG history at this point. I think you're absolutely right. I think at this point, top 3 is about all you can really be considering, barring a miracle.
Yep, that 41.1% is slowly moving away from Yum, but they're moving down step by step. Wow.
It's been nuts, guys. Stay tuned. Our final game of the day coming up here after a short break. PUBG continues.
Hi, this is Annie of Weekly PCS. Did you enjoy watching the events in last week's PCS3? Now that we only have 1 week left, here are last week's highlights to get you caught up for the final week of PCS3. In Asia, Tiamba Esports finished week 2 and first on the leaderboard. Their play reminded me of their performance at Charity Showdown earlier this year. Tiamba was fighting back and forth with OG and Entus from Korea for the top spot. At the end of day 4, Tiamba was Asia's first place team in the second week of PCS3. OG and Entus is still showing stable performance. However, if they lean into their explosive performance more, they definitely could be a team with a good chance of winning. Asia is highly contested and showing the fiercest competition among the 4 regions. The top 8 teams all scored over 100 points. Genji, the champion of PGC 2019, is still in 9th place, but fans saw a shining moment in day 4 match 1 when they scored a perfect chicken dinner, a throwback to the good old days. Fearlu Ghibli and 4AM are still bumping into each other sometimes, but both remain in the top 5, showing potential to win this event. Competition is more intense than ever in Asia. Which team will be crowned the PCS3 Asia champion? Let's see what happened in North America in week 2. Guadalajara Gascons showed remarkable performance, earning 106 points in the second week. They quickly moved up to second place. In the last match of day 4, Gascons got 18 kill points and the chicken dinner, widening the gap with Oath, who sits in third place. This team might sound new, but Nikus and Honey Badger have each played in the OC and NA regions, while Bosik is a veteran player who has participated in PGI 2018. Sonics, of course, is flaunting their consistency. They almost matched the same amount of points as their Week 1 performance, proving them to be a steady team. The trust from PUBG esports fans shows since Sonics currently has the most votes so far among all 4 regions in Perekam Challenge. There's only a 25-point difference between Sonics and Guadalajara Gascons, which is very close for the last week of PCS3. Can Guadalajara Gascons stop Sonics from winning 2 consecutive championships? Also, can Shutakill and Oath show us their last burst of energy? Make sure to check out the final week. In APAC, Vietnam's top dog LG Divine held their lead for the second week. However, they weren't as explosive as they were in the first week. LG Divine won 5 chicken dinners in week 1, but were eliminated in the early stages a lot during the second week. Buriram United Esports and Fury are chasing right behind Divine. I think I saw this happen in PCS2. Buriram United Esports is a team that has always been in top 3 throughout PCS events. In the second week, they've been overperforming and have the momentum of winning 2 consecutive chicken dinners for the last 2 matches. Will they finally seek a chance to take the throne? Fury lost the first place in PCS2 APAC due to an official tie ruling. They're not the team who always shows explosive performance in matches, but rather play smart, stacking up points to maintain high ranks. If they can win more matches though, they will be more likely to win the championship. Let's not forget Division X Gaming, who clutched many great plays with long case support, and Sharper Esports, mostly consisting of former Golden Cat members, who are both following closely. Let's see which team will win the championship in APAC. How was the second week in Europe? Europe, as expected, is a very intense region. Digital Athletics, Tornado Energy, and Northern Lights are still in the top 3 teams in week 2, even though their rankings have shifted slightly. Team Liquid has put in the effort to rise the ranks and compete for the lead in second week. Digital Athletics is showing amazing performance so far. It's a team that breezed through the open qualifier and they have a great potential. They enjoy sending themselves on tricky situations, but they also stack up points steadily and have finally topped the list. Tornado Energy, who finished first in week 1, was briefly knocked to 4th place during day 4, but rebounded after a 16-kill chicken dinner victory in match 3. Northern Lights have been showing really stable performance for the entire 2 weeks. Even though they slipped a bit on day 4, the gap between first place is only 10 points, not a lot. Who will be the winner of the last PCS of 2020 in Europe? We won't know until the last day is here. PCS3 has only 1 week left, and this is how the Perekam Challenge looks so far. Are they teams that you've picked? The last week of PCS3 starts on November 19th. Check out which teams will become champions in 4 regions. I'll be back with the next weekly PCS. Bye!
야 우리 쪽이 나을 것 같은데? 그쪽이 낫나?
그래도 이런 라인 풀어도 되잖아.
오케이 글로 가자.
가자.
여기 다 쓸 수 있다. 우리 쪽이 다 쓸 수 있다. 여기.
이거 빠르게 선택하자.
우리 쪽이야, 우리 쪽이 가자.
그냥 이거 해 위에서 해 위에서.
이리
남쪽
웨퍼 안
힘들어.
잠겼잖아.
여기 집은 무적집이라 막는 것만 진짜 신경
그리고 4번째 원이라서 잘 해보자, 알겠지?
합류해야 돼.
지금 4-4-2지.
하나 기절.
나이스.
2번 핑.
여기 잡았어 4번은.
확킬 수 있다.
확인. 그죠?
자, 가자. 우리 이제 장한이 형 포탄 냅두고 가자. 지금 안 돼. 천천히 해봐.
나 가운데 그냥 직구리 타줘.
확인. 야 우측으로
빨간 다시야 맞아.
왼쪽 끝에 하나.
라스트 여기야, 라스트.
빨간 대책 기절. 라스트.
라스트.
천천히 해. 천천히 해.
수영아 나 다 보여?
1-4번 라인.
이쪽으로 가봐.
야 연막 쳐주지 마.
하나 기절.
달린 거 기절.
연막
나
쳐주지 마.
왼쪽으로 갈게요. 연막 안 해.
연막 왜?
of PCS3 Asia is about to wrap up. And I almost called it PCS3 Korea because today has been Korea. Haha. Entis, VLG, and Entis are your winners, and your damage dealers. Everybody on Entis is in there.
And we have top 5, so we cannot have any more of Entis. And Lingdu is still there, MCG. They put up a pretty good fight against Entis. Not just that, they cleaned up most of the players from that eastern side, and also from those cute compounds from that south of the field. Pretty good game so far, but those 4 on the those 2 on the left, 2 on the right, they look godlike right now. Entis, can anyone stop them? Pochinki start, Gaka near Gaka field finish. They barely moved. They barely moved 1.5 kilometers their rotation.
Yeah, they put up that 2-2 split, and then they came together when they were forced to because of the circle, and they made a perfect movement. They made the exact correct decision. They rolled the dice correctly. MCG, all the credit in the world of them. They played a great round. They took the other great position. Basically, Entis had either the winning position or the second place position, or potentially also the winning position. You never know if they're over where MCG was.
So what you're saying is that if you're any other team other than Entis, you should always follow their rotation, right?
Yeah.
If they leave, you just take their place. Then you at least get a place maybe nearby around Entis.
It worked for Pero that one day where they made what felt like an Entis-like move and then got right next to Entis, and they ended up with the chicken dinner. So yeah, I think Entis right now, really, their ideas on how to approach the game are very, very high, and we've seen it for the last couple years, and now we're seeing them reach their final form, belligerently consistent. OG and Entis has always been here for years at these international events, constantly competing, constantly coming up just short, and now is this the time?
And is it finally the time? Is it finally the time? If they get one more chicken dinner, I think they might just run away by playing a little bit passive on the final day, because the gap might actually be too big for the other teams to catch back. But still, with 5 more matches, I think a lot can be done within the top. I think we're really talking about top 5 or top 6 by now.
Yeah, at this point it's narrowing. It's there's just not enough games left. There's not enough points available. I mean, even if you put up a 34-point infantry-like round, like they did at PCS2, man, it's a lot to overcome. And I mean, if Entis wins another one, I think that's just all she wrote. I mean, that you might as well just go ahead and start etching the name into the trophy.
Yeah, I think we could actually get that Entis team, because no one's stopping that from Pochiki. Rotation towards the west, the field, they just have control most of the time. They know that Genji and Tiamba is going to fight for that below Mount Everest towards the western beach side. If they want to move up to the eastern side near the Potato Mountain, that's also pretty easy, because 4 AM is actually making a somewhat slower rotation in Erangel every single time. So easier for Entis to make any sort of rotation. Will anyone actually challenge them in that city or stop them from making a big rotation, like we have seen from Infantry, from Miramar? But no one else is actually blocking too much of a pathing from Entis, to be honest.
Yeah, when it comes to Pachinki, you kind of just have to hot drop it. If you're gonna try to stop somebody, unless there's a hard shift. If there's a military circle, infantry might attempt it. That I could see that happening again, where infantry, because Entis usually makes an early rotation down to the military base, usually, not always.
Yeah, from the left bridge near the gas station, where infantry is going to have that 1-on-1 split.
Yeah.
So I think you might be just right, or Entis, they always find some kind of solution.
They're so creative. They're so good on the fly. They're so smart. I mean, you're seeing high-level plays from all of their members. Under there doing a fantastic job holding down a flank all by himself.
Dude.
Out in the field. That ain't
I
easy.
would never do that in my life.
No!
Like, I would always be the one staying on the
proning
back.
in the grass. I'm taking my backpack off, and I'm hoping nobody sees me. Leave me alone.
You keep me safe, okay? I'll be on the back, you go. Okay, I'm not the one going all the way in front. I mean, you have the best shooter in the world right now, Indigo, right next to you, but still, to be up front against MCG? Not against any other team, a full squad of MCG, against a Freak of Freaks that was also crazy. Like, he was down one time, but I think Indigo just got him back on control.
I think so, yeah. I mean, regardless, it's looking so good for Entis. Everything is like next level right now for them. They're playing it. I think they finally just, you know, just kind of said to themselves, this is it. We're taking this. This is our tournament. This is our time. We'll see, though. There's still 5 games left. You never know. And I'm already starting to think about, you know, like what the future looks like for PUBG esports, for some of these teams from Asia with these drop spots that they've been fighting over. And then I like instantly my mind is now drifting towards Pachinki for Entis. That's Team Liquid and Sonic's territory. Razak is actually DA territory. They're starting to look really good. What if they start to keep consistency? All of these teams are kind of, when I think about the future, I start to really find this to be a really interesting situation that when we're able to get back to this stuff.
In the future, and also if we have different teams from different regions, like different Chinese teams can also run into Entis if we go into next year of PCS.
Yeah, SMG,
Yeah, that it can totally be possible, and Genji might actually totally run into Tiamba again if they collide. I think there will be at least a round where Genji will put up a fight. Maybe not today, maybe the final day of Erangel if they want to really go for that big fight.
Yeah, when things are kind of more settled, when we maybe kind of know what the results are going to be one way or another, and then Genji might give it a go. Genji might just give it a go right now because Genji needs points, and if you just win a 4-0 hot drop, that's a good way to propel yourself to a huge amount of points.
Yeah, but against Tiamba, 4-0 hot drop, I think you're living in the dreams.
Oh yeah,
you really want to get that.
I'm not saying it's likely. I'm not saying it's likely. I mean, you're taking, you're praying for that, you know, that ace on the river with that one, but
you're basically looking for quad kill with a single grenade, and I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
No, I don't expect it. It used to be that Genji pretty handily won the scrims against Tianba in South George, but then at the actual matches, it was much different. Tianba played very well when we were on the big stages, when the cameras and the lights were on, so to speak, even though this year that hasn't been the case, that everybody's been at home. But, you know, I think, I don't know, if I'm Genji, I'm torn between trying to fight them or not right now.
Yeah, that is going to be the big question, if they ever go for that challenge or not. I mean, with the Western Circle, that the plan B for Genji certainly popped out. Okay, let's grab some early guns. Even before Tiamba totally moved out, they were about to get into the vehicles. Genji were already using that big bridge into South George, going towards that western coast. Love that early rotation. I think that should be coming out a lot more in the remaining match, not just today, even into tomorrow. I think Genji should be looking for much earlier rotation from not just Erangel, they have done that from Picado also. So certainly loving week 3 play from Genji so far.
And I feel like Tianba gets kind of put in a weird situation here where I think they should maybe make a faster rotation, or they should have gone up to the top of Everest, or you know what I mean, like to the top of that mountain, because they got stuck at hospital around that area basically, and then they're in kind of weird positions because most likely that circle is going to keep going south.
And sometimes you expect that you have time, and the moment you hear Honira's vehicle going on top of the mountain, I think they were sort of caught and said, okay, right side of the eastern side of the mountain is already controlled. Let's go towards the hospital and then try to push down from that moment on, because they know that Genji is going to the western coast, and likely they will have no one from the back. But Tiamba, they were also caught coming into the field line, and they couldn't really do too much after that, as Fields, you know, the first one to take the those little compounds, just like Entis.
Yep,
that's basically a win for you.
Yeah, these compounds become just unbelievably valuable. It's like beach, it's like beachfront real estate.
Yes.
Yeah, right in Manhattan.
I don't even know how expensive it is. It is expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's definitely boardwalk on Monopoly there when you get those compounds. So yeah, it is hard to make those early rotations or those early movements, but I feel like if you're Tianba, either get to the top of the mountain and make your decisions from there, or get somewhere more center, because you have a pretty favorable circle.
Yeah, and that was somewhat forced by Ghibli, and as they also had a chicken dinner, I think they're feeling a little bit better, moving out slightly earlier compared to the other weeks. And that rotation has been working okay when you're moving north, but when you're trying to move south, there's 4 a.m., there's Entis, so I think that's some other homework they still have to deal with when there's a south circle. I think we might be seeing that solution very soon from Ghibli.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Ghibli is playing their best PUBG maybe ever, as well as Entis. I mean, we're seeing some of the best PUBG from Korea here today. So we are ready for the final game of the day, guys. Erangel, one more to go. starting out over Severny, heading down to Novo, going a little more easterly this time. Instead of cutting across the middle, we're heading north to south with this plane path, and going west, all eyes on Georgia Pool.
Yep, Tiamba Genji, right next to each other. And might actually see some vehicle fights as we literally have two teams bumping into each other with the parachutes.
I feel like we could see a fist fight here. They're so close to each other.
Yeah, Griffin actually going all the way towards the west of Severny. They actually made a early parachute down.
Yeah, Zarky is a position for Griffin that they'll take if they have to. If there isn't a lot of other options, if they can't get over to Primorsk or wherever they want to go, they will do Zarky. But they're not usually happy about it. They'd much rather be in Primorsk.
So this is parachute time for Tiamba and Genji. They have vehicles.
So Fever Drop here with infantry and GEX potentially infantry's ahead. Yep, they're gonna have to drop out in the open a bit. Let's see if there's any vehicle runovers. But there is the shack here. Now this shack does blow up.
Boom. And I don't think he's going to survive too long. OPGG getting easy.
Oh my god.
Good control there, though.
Oh my god, Alfaka with the Bison gets a double, looking for a triple here. Is that a crowbar? Is he winding up with a crowbar?
He's about to throw it out the window, out the door the moment he sees him.
Oh, CC. There's nowhere to go. And if you're Alfaka, you can just wait.
Yes, and wait for your teammates too. And actually, GEX losing the vehicle. Monsker getting that kill. Easily done against GEX.
Steps out, he throws it, it doesn't connect.
Pick it up!
Picking it up.
No way, Jose.
Now, GEX, we saw a good game from them. Game number 2 today. They played very, very well in that game. One of the best we've seen from them, maybe ever. And here, not the start you want to see. The playing path a little too crooked, and they're not really able to recover.
Certainly not the game you want to have. That's the last game of the day. But OPGG is going to wrap up. Pretty good kill point. 3 in total there. And replay of this run over.
This is
the last game?
Yeah, infantry. There's just this move by Under. I can't remember in a competitive match seeing this.
He's crazy.
Somebody's probably like, oh, somebody did it. And I'm like, well, I didn't see it. That's so smart from Under. And it's risky, but it worked.
I think Summer was not at that moment. So understanding that there will be less focus from MCG was a smart decision.
Plus you have Sung Jong on the roof to cover you and tell you what's going on. So I think it's really, really smart there by Under. I mean, just a bajillion IQ play there. And then Kale, we've talked about how much he's played well, even though he hasn't been putting up the same stats as Under and Indigo. He's been there when they need him.
Oh, Genji. Engines off.
Are they out of gas?
No.
I'm joking. I know you can cut
I know gas is expensive, but making a run here. Will this finally be as Tiamba? I think there's almost... They're still looting. They're still looting.
This is so interesting. You're right. They have to be looting. And Onyx has basically nothing. He has a micro Uzi and no armor.
DP.
And I don't know. This is...
Oh, yes. This is what we wanted to see. Oh, but Ming's barrel. Oh, barrel. That's not a good fight.
No. Not unless an Onyx can get into point blank range with that micro Uzi. That's the only way he has kind of an advantage. But at this point, I assume that the gear in terms of the armor and the helmet's already there for Tiamba as well. So Onyx is going to have to get those quick. This is a really interesting move here by Genji.
Starting to get some poke into South George as Linshi already moved out totally away from the zone. It's just 2 members left, and also Luren all the way onto the top of the mountain. So that's exactly the reason why Genji, the two best men, P and Onyx, trying to get some action. As talking about action, 4 a.m. They don't know how to stop.
No, they do not. This is the second game in a row where we've seen them crash a compound early. VLG reinforcements trying to arrive. Lou around the corner, but there's fire on his right. He comes through the window, burning. I think he's going to be able to get the heals off just in time. Forever takes a whole bunch of damage as well. Grenades starting to be thrown by VLG. Let's see if they connect with anything. That one right in front of Forever's face.
Yep. Ghibli just makes outside of that compound. Now Lambu's going to join the fight. from the side. Hikari just coming in hot, so 4 AM could not really deliver early kills. That was a delicious timing attack for 4 AM, but good backup from BLG so far. But this fight, I think it just goes on.
I mean, it's a good hold here by Deva and Spear to get Lambu and the reinforcements in time. Now, this gets a little weird. This house, not the best to fight out of for 4 Angry Men. This house sucks.
Nunga circle, first phase. A little too aggressive from 4 AM, I would say. I don't think it's totally worth to have this big of a fight already into the game, only 5 minutes in. As it's too late now to back up for both teams.
God, if he gets that in and gets a knock, okay, he just came up short with that one. I think it clipped the top window lid there just enough to keep it short from where Forever meant to go. But this guy's so good, he can throw grenades in without, like, even being able to see the angles. Over to Genji. Genji with the DP!
It's happening.
Oh my god, M200 and Mings just gotta be like, what in the world? How did these guys come down here, and how did we not hear it?
Yep, engine off, and the entire squad is now coming. M200, the alone Linshu is actually making a way back from all the way top. Luren not coming down from the mountain.
Oh, Pio steps out with an open angle headshot in the finish here. Now there is return fire from the mountain. Luren has an angle on a Pio, but Pio's able to get to the fence and get himself hidden.
Ah, that's gonna leave a mark now.
That is definitely a, all right, this is our turn, Tian, but you may have got us previously, but now we're here stepping up to try to reclaim our territory.
Sweet revenge. That was Genji. I would, like, it doesn't matter what happens in this round anymore. I would just sleep with my feet stretched out all the way. Like, we've got Tiemba finally.
It is a nice moral victory potentially for Genji. There still are 2 left for Tianba who are watching, and we'll see if they try to make Genji pay at all. But Genji has a little bit of time. The first blue, you know, you can wait it out. You can loot up for a while.
And despite surprising 4 AM, I think they are also feeling that if they push a little too far right now, might be running out of resources, but they're also using a lot of resources already.
Yeah, Hikari's trying to get grenades in the window. Finally, one makes it on in. Is it going to be good enough to get crazy? Nope. Splashes out towards the front door there. As yeah, this one's slowed up. There's a 2-2 here for each one in terms of the compounds. There's 2 on each side. But it is tough to get these angles to work. There's a lot of stuff in the way, and the angles, like there's just like thin windows to see each other from.
Just thin windows, and because of these solid fences right around the houses, if you just peek out and if you don't exactly know where all 4 members are, the moment you peek out from the corner, you are going to be dead. So that's exactly the reason why 4 AM's not really making a big push. I don't think both teams has 100% idea where the entire squad is.
I don't think either of them wants to push. It's really hard to push either side. So I wouldn't be too surprised if eventually, like, one of them just, like, 4 AM just backs out.
Very early rotation, like I have mentioned in the previous match, get a gun or 2 and then immediately at least win the rotational fight against Tiamba. That was exactly what Genji was looking for during the scrim, all 4 rounds. So expect that to happen again in terms of at least rotations.
I want it to happen. I am ready for it as we watch some of the other teams make their drops. GEX over by the chopsticks, hanging out towards where one of our circles ended up, where Pero got one of their wins, their 3 in a row, came near this very